Illusions can be difficult to detect. It's hard sometimes to see the difference between what's real and what's fake. You might not be too concerned about an illusion. After all, they are most likely used to hide entrances and objects. However, what if illusions were used to try and take you out? Of course, the illusion itself can't do you any harm. What the illusion hides, however, should be what you're afraid of. And there is one type of creature that roams the continent that has mastered the powers of magical illusions. The Aguaras. Not only have they mastered illusions, but also telekinesis, as well as the ability to have other creatures with lesser mental capacity than humans do their bidding for at least a short while. These are one of the most dangerous creatures on the continent. Even witchers can't really deal with them. Luckily for humans, they don't often cross paths with them. See, they have no reason to deal with humans. If one gets too close, or threatens their territory, then they can simply use their illusions to make it look like there's a dangerous beast there that would scare humans off. This, however, doesn't mean that the Aguaras don't bother with the other races. Elves and Aguaras have a very different relationship. To explain how they are connected, I have to explain how an Aguara comes to be. Aguaras can't procreate. They can't have children, as their race exists out of only females. In order for new Aguaras to be created, an Aguara has to kidnap an elven child. This child, over time, will be turned into an Aguara. Losing one's child seems like something that would drive the parents of the child to hunt down a kidnapper and retrieve this child. However, when a young elf gets taken by an Aguara, they don't do anything. Va esse dairat ab eigam, va esse eich vadar. Something ends, something begins. The elven parents don't mourn their child by weeping. They don't try to retrieve it. They know the powers of the Aguaras, and they know they will never see their child again. The child will slowly transform into an Aguara. But what is an Aguara? Aguaras are classified as Antherians, which means that they are creatures with the ability to take a humanoid form. This makes them the opposite of what a werewolf is. The interesting part is that every Aguara starts off as an elven child. This means that the process which transforms them into an Aguara changes them so much that their natural shape isn't that of an elf anymore. It becomes a fox. The Aguaras generally take on one of three different forms. There is the elven woman, the fox creature, and the half-elf, half-fox, with like a humanoid elven body and a fox head. The Aguara switches in between these shapes depending on which suits her environment or the occasion the best. Like how she uses the humanoid forms to look threatening to any who have done her wrong. So I've talked about how the Aguara never really bothers humans. However, there are exceptions to this. Some humans may think it's a good idea to kidnap the elven child, to take it back from the Aguara to the elven parents, to try and gain favor or get paid. This, however, is one of the most dangerous things you can do. If they could even somehow manage to find the Aguara, then they still have to find a way to take the young girl. This girl, however, is already in the process of transforming into an Aguara, even though you may not notice it at first. So let's say they got the girl and managed to get away with her. From this point onwards, their fate is sealed. While elves never go after their children after they've been taken by an Aguara, the Aguaras will go after the children they have taken. In Season of Storms, some merchants decided that they would take back the elven child from an Aguara. They, however, knew not what dangers they put themselves into. They managed to get hold of an Aguara's child, and wanted to take it to Nilfgaard to sell it. Unbeknownst to them, however, the Aguara was on their tail, chasing them. They thought they were clever by sailing a boat over the river instead of going over the land, as the Aguara couldn't get to them while they're on the water. The Aguara, however, had other plans. She used her powerful illusions to trick them into a dangerous journey on the river, filled with both illusions and real danger. Geralt, who joined the merchants on a ship because he had to get to Novigrad, insisted that they should put the child in a rowboat and bring her to the shore if they wished to survive. But it was already too late. One of the merchants had accidentally killed her. They now had no other options than to flee. They tried, but many on board the ship perished on the journey. She used her illusions to have them go into the directions she wanted. Not only did she use her illusions, but also her powers to control creatures, as she sent a Vodunoi to the ship to try and break the rudder. There were several other creatures on the journey that most likely also had been controlled by the fox demon, like a few very deadly snakes, leeches, and both a giant turtle and a crocodile. The Aguara made sure they knew she was after them, and appeared several times along the shore, or standing on tree branches that hung over the water. At one point the ship passed right below of these branches, and the Aguara jumped down onto the deck, without making any sound. Geralt put the body of the deceased child on the deck, and stepped away. As the Aguara went to the girl's body, Geralt told her that he didn't want anyone to get hurt, and that if she were to attack, he would defend the merchants on the ship. Geralt was bluffing his way through, as at this time he had no swords on him, and he managed to convince the merchants that his swords were invisible, as they were not that bright. Also, even if he had a sword, he wouldn't be able to do much against the Aguara, as these creatures are way more powerful than most people realize. Luckily for Geralt, the Aguara didn't attack. She instead took the body of the girl, and said that she would one day return for Geralt, when he doesn't expect it. Eventually, at the end of Season of Storms, she does return. While Geralt and Dandelion are in the wilderness, the Aguara appears. Even though Geralt now had his swords back, he didn't feel any safer. There was just a weight on his back. The Aguara told him that she wasn't sure why she had even returned to him. Whether she wanted to say goodbye to him, or let the child say goodbye. The elven child, which was considered dead on the boat, was actually alive the whole time, and just pretending to be dead with her illusions. During the conversations between Geralt and the Vixen, we learn more about the powers of these creatures. There used to be a time, before the humans had taken over, where the Aguaras were way more powerful. They could create illusions of magical islands, dragons dancing in the sky, and visions of large armies approaching. Over time, however, their powers had become weaker. Yet even the youngest of the Aguaras were still capable of fooling the human senses. As a thank you to Geralt, she let him touch her fox-shaped face. What this did was it showed him what he fears or dreams about. And Geralt saw Yennefer smiling. When suddenly everything turned quiet, and the Aguara was gone. Geralt heard a voice say, "Illusion. Everything is illusion." I'm not quite sure what this line means, so if you've got any idea, I would be interested in hearing about it. That was it for the Aguara, one of the most powerful creatures on the continent. Around the time when this video goes live, the Witcher Netflix show will almost be released. I'm not sure if I'll make a video specifically on the Netflix series, as I feel like every single person who is reviewing and talking or reacting to anything from a TV show or TV series will react and review it. I personally don't see a point in talking about something if there will be like a ton of videos already talking about it. Which is why I haven't done a video on Geralt, Ciri or Yennefer. This is also why I haven't done a video on Geralt, Ciri or Yennefer. I may do them in the future, but I'll have to find a way to make them different. That's it for this video. Till the next one. Bye.